Hi, I'm Nick Vacco. I am the Detail Czar, and I'd like to welcome you to the Detail Czar community training videos. In this video, you're actually going to see an interior detailing being done from the very start to the end. We're going to show you how to clean the plastic, the vinyl, the door panels, the instrument panel, the cup holders, the console, the seating surfaces, the carpets, the mats, and the door jambs, windows, window tips, mirrors, everything. So stay tuned for a great video, and there'll be more to come after this. So the first thing you want to do is remove any personal items that the customer did not remove. Anytime that you have an interior, you want to ask the customer to remove their personal items. And for the most part, most of them will remove most of them. But in this case, obviously, there were still some items that were not removed. So we're going to take any of the loose items and we're going to put them in a clear plastic bag. And we'll put the bag outside of the vehicle while it's being cleaned and detailed. And then when the detail has been finished, we will place that plastic bag on the passenger seat so the customer sees everything that we actually confiscated and put in the plastic bag. And if we find anything underneath the seats or any money or rings or anything like that, obviously we will also put them in the plastic bag. If the steering wheel has a steering wheel cover and it can be removed, it's a good idea to remove it and see if you can clean the steering wheel. In this case, it looks like most of the steering wheel covering has deteriorated. We'll do our best to clean it, of course, but that's something that you would want to remove. So if there's larger debris that you don't want to suck up, obviously, in your vacuum, you want to remove that by hand. Okay, and always keep a small trash can near you so you're not tossing those things on the customer's driveway or in your shop area. You always want to try to keep your shop floor tidy. So that's why you always want to have a small wastebasket near you. If the vehicle has mats, whether they be carpeted mats, vinyl mats, or the WeatherTech floor liners, you want to remove those. And some of them, they have the clips that they're lodged in. So you want to carefully remove those. And if the mats have a lot of debris on them, you want to kind of contain the debris when you're removing the mat, okay? Because that'll be less vacuuming for you to do on the floorboards. So once the mats are removed, we'll put the mats outside of the vehicle separately, and we will vacuum those separately after we're done vacuuming the interior of the vehicle, and then we'll clean those mats afterwards. After the mat has been removed, what we're going to do is vacuum up the heavy debris first before we get our Tornador mini blowgun out, okay? Then we'll blow out all the cracks and crevices underneath the seats, between the console and the seats, in the pockets in the doors. But you want to get that heavy stuff that can be vacuumed, you want to vacuum that up first. Reason being, if you use the blowgun right away and you still have heavy debris, it's going to go everywhere. So we're going to vacuum up the heavy debris first, okay, and then we'll take our blowgun, we'll start blowing out the cracks and crevices underneath the seats, between the seat and the console, the pleats of the seat, get everything loose, and then we'll re-vacuum it up again. For the vacuuming process and the air blowing process, what we'll do is we'll take the blowgun and we will blow everything from the back rear carpet underneath the seat up to the front area, okay? We will do that, and then we will vacuum everything up. It'll just save some time. And special attention right now, we moved the front seat all the way up, okay? So we can see where the debris is, especially around the console and the seat area. Okay, so we'll blow everything up to the front, and then eventually we will vacuum everything from the front. And another thing to do, especially on a passenger vehicle, okay, blow out the seats, Okay, and also the rear shelf of the rear window, we're going to blow that out too and loosen that up, because there could be dead bugs and flies back there. And a lot of times, if it's not blown out now with compressed air, sometimes it's forgotten. So you have to vacuum the upholstery too, whether it's leather upholstery or cloth upholstery. You got to vacuum it. Obviously, if it's leather, you got to be careful with your crevice tool. We use a plastic crevice tool so it can't do any damage to the leather. But as you can see, the pleats of the seat have a lot of debris in them, and Chase is going to vacuum up the seat and then finish the floorboards. Cleaning a headliner is very important, because if the headliner is not cleaned and you cleaned everything else, once the customer looks up at the headliner, then they say it wasn't done. So you got to do the headliner. So we take a sponge, we'll dip it in some warm water, we'll spray extractor soap on it, okay, and then we'll take the sponge. First we'll clean the visors, because they will be dirty. So you want to clean behind the visors, you want to clean the visor itself. And basically with the sponge, what we're doing is we're loosening up the dirt. And I'll show you later how we remove the dirt. Now this vehicle has handles built into the headliner, and they really get dirty because that's where people's hands basically touch the handles. So you got to clean behind the handles, and you got to clean the handles too. So as you can see, we are using the sponge to also clean the pillars too, because they get dirty too, especially with the window down. Okay, then we'll take like a 2x2 section at a time. With the sponge, and we'll wring it out after every 2x2 section, and we'll spray extractor soap on it again if it's a fabric headliner, or if it's a vinyl headliner, okay, or what they call a hybrid headliner, kind of vinyl fabric mix, then you can take an all-purpose cleaner to it. Now what we're doing is we're taking a microfiber to all the wet area that we sponge down with water and soap. Basically what we're doing now is we're removing the dirt that's actually in the headliner. Now this particular headliner is actually dirty, so we have to clean the whole headliner. Sometimes there's just certain spots of the headliner that need to be cleaned, you know. But typically, if you only clean the spots and the rest of the headliner still has a layer of dirt, you're going to see clean splotches, which you don't want to do. So in that case, you got to do the entire headliner. But you can pre-spot it. There just may be a small stain here and there. And then once you remove those spots, then you got to check out the headliner to make sure that it didn't really leave a really clean area and the rest of the headliner still shows some dirt on it. So if that's the case, it's just best to do the entire headliner. Not all headliners will need cleaned, okay, but especially if it's a smoker head, if it's smoked inside the vehicle, you'll have that layer of yellow tint on the headliner, and that's basically the smoke, and that headliner will definitely need to be cleaned. What we use for the vinyl, especially the grainy vinyl, is the Scrub Daddy. Okay, that's great on door panels and also kick panels. They're relatively inexpensive, and once you put them in warm water, they become soft. Left in cold water, they're hard, but we like them using them. They're very effective still using them in warm water when they're soft. They're actually great to use on the grain. So next, what we're doing, we took the Details R all-purpose cleaner and we sprayed it on the plastic seat component. And we used a Scrub Daddy because it's grainy, and it did a great job loosening up all that ground and dirt. Okay, now we're taking our AC vent brush to get into some of the crevices that the Scrub Daddy or even a bigger brush wouldn't be able to get into. Okay, because that's important with detailing, is to get into all the crevices. Dampen our towel, we'll wring it out. Then we're going to remove all the loose soap, especially underneath that door handle too, and the kick panel if it was scrubbed. It's important to do these, spend some time on those because they get really dirty. People getting inside and outside the vehicle. And as you notice, they come really clean. And then we'll take a towel to it. We use the Tornador Max, okay? And basically what we're gonna do, we'll put 2 to 3 ounces of our detailer's soap in the Tornador. It's a quart jug, fill the rest up with water, and we will dispense, basically what the Tornador does, it dispenses soap, air, and water at the same time. Kind of like a nebulizer, okay? So Chase will follow up with a wet towel, all right? And then this door panel, as you can see, is pretty grimy. So the Tornador alone is not going to get it clean, but what it'll do, it'll quickly dispense the soap and the water, okay? Then he'll start the scrubbing procedure. He'll use the Scrub Daddy, some of the other smaller interior detail brushes that we do, and we'll get that clean. We like using the Tornador to basically clean the plastic and the rubber, the console and the cup holders. And right now we're cleaning the pedals with it. Pedals get dirty, so you got to clean them too. You never want to dress the pedals after you've cleaned them. We're taking a stiff detail brush, nylon bristles, so we can get into all the crevices of the pedals. But this really separates the men from the boys by actually detailing the pedals of the vehicles. There's not a lot of detailers do that, and that's just one way for you to separate yourself from your competitors, or to clean the pedals. After the pedals have been scrubbed and cleaned, then you can take your microfiber towel to dry them, and they look so much better. What I really like about the detailer soap, it actually has a conditioner in it too. It's not going to make anything slippery, but it actually darkens out the plastic and the rubber. The entryway kick panels of vehicles obviously get really dirty. You know, you're getting inside and out of the vehicle. So basically we're applying the soap and water to the hard plastic areas of the sides of the seats and also the kick panels. And then we will actually take, whether it be a brush or a scrubber, we use a Scrub Daddy. Basically it does a great job getting into all the grain of the plastic. It's really easy to work with. It's nice and small. Once put into hot water, it does soften it up a little bit, but it's still aggressive enough to get in the grain of the plastic and the vinyl. Does a really good job. Now we have an AC vent brush. It's great to get in to clean the AC vents and also all the hidden areas, the cracks and crevices of the vehicle, because you got to clean those too. So once we spray them with the Tornador, okay, you can either put the optional Tornador brush on the end of the Tornador, okay, or once you've sprayed the cleaner, the cleaning solution I should say, then you can take your appropriate brush and Q-tips to get into the cracks and crevices because you've already loosened the dirt up. And now we're kind of fine-tuning it. We're really getting all the debris that still may be lodged into those small areas. And these Q-tips come in 5 different sizes. We just basically got the Q-tips on Amazon. They're inexpensive, but you kind of really need those. Now we're going to take the Tornador to the dashboard. We're very careful about getting too much of the mist into the electrical components. So we'll definitely get them into the vents, into the steering wheel, steering column area. Now what's nice about the Tornador, okay, right now it's dispensing the mist of soap, air, and water. Okay, and then you can also turn the valve and use it as a blowgun to blow out all the cracks and crevices of the loose water, basically after we've taken our towels and our brushes to the various components of the dashboard. But by using the Tornador, it really saves a lot of time. And there are a couple different Tornador models available that are out there. They're reasonably priced, and they will save you so much time in your cleaning and detailing process. But it's really important to get into all the nooks and crannies, cracks and crevices of the dashboard. Around the bezels, the radio knobs, even the levers on the steering wheel column, the steering wheel itself. The AC vent brush really comes in handy, getting into the vents, cracks and crevices, some of the different components, the steering wheel and the levers, because they all accumulate dirt and dust. So it's really good to get into that. Then you can wipe dry with a towel, or you can take a blowgun to it, or actually just have the Tornador discharge just air alone. But the AC vent brush does a really good job getting into the emblems and all the different cracks and crevices of the steering wheel and the steering wheel column. Taking some really fine Q-tips into the emblem right on the steering wheel center. Now you can dress that center area after you're done cleaning, but just do not dress the steering wheel itself. You can clean it, don't dress it because you don't want it to be slippery. Same thing with pedals. I mentioned earlier about cleaning them, drying them. You never want to put a conditioner, a vinyl or rubber or plastic conditioner on the pedals either. You don't want them to be slippery. But attention to detail is so important, and that's what we strive for here at the Detail Czar, to get all the nooks and crannies. And that definitely separates yourself from the competition, and you can charge more, and you actually get a great reputation of being the best in your area for the fine details, and that's what detailing is all about. Again, the Tornador is great to get into the little compartments, the shifters, and of course the cup holders, because they're always nasty. You get drinks, you got spills, you got crumbs, sometimes even tobacco. So this cleaning process that we're doing with the Tornador does a great job in just breaking down all the grime. Now on that shifter, once you're done cleaning it, you should put it in gear to clean the hidden area of the shifter too, because you don't want your customer getting in the car, putting it in reverse or putting it in drive and seeing the dirt that should have been removed. So make sure that is also done. Very important. I think the AC vent brush is just a great brush to use after you've dispensed the soap. And then again, you can dry it with a microfiber towel, and you can also help dry it by just depressing or moving the valve on the Tornador, dispense air out to dry it. We always get all of our plastic and vinyl done first. The console, the cup holders, the door panels, the dashboard, the instrument panel, the pockets, the pedals, the levers, before we clean our carpeting and upholstery. Always get the vinyl and the plastic done first. After you're done with the vacuuming, you examine the carpet. Okay, this carpet's dirty, and the extractor alone with the extractor soap is not going to be able to thoroughly clean it. So we got to pre-scrub the heavily soiled areas, which I call the traffic areas. And if you have tar balls and grease stains, then you have to use the spotter too. Okay, but basically what we're doing here, we sprayed some water on it, sprayed the extractor soap on it, and then we take a stiff, compact brush with the smaller head because it's easier to get underneath, loosen up the dirt. Now we're going to take the microfiber towel to remove the suds so we don't suck that up in the extractor. So we pre-scrubbed our carpets. We're not going to take the extractor to the carpets yet, but I'd like getting all the pre-scrubbing done first of the carpets and the seats, then we'll extract. So these fabric seats, velour seats, they're pretty dirty. So we sprayed the extractor soap on some of the dirtier components of that seat. Take our compact brush, which we clean, so it's the brush is clean. And we're going to scrub some of that heavy soil just to loosen it up. Because if you don't loosen it up, you're going to spend more time just with the extractor trying to get it out. Now by loosening that dirt up, gives us the opportunity to suck that dirt up with the extractor. And again, we're using a stiffer nylon brush. Okay, it's a smaller compact head. It's just much easier to maneuver on the interiors, especially on those tight areas. Now we're wiping away any of the loose dirt, and we'll be prepared to extract soon. And the seat belt end, we're cleaning that now while we're down that area so we don't have to come back later. If you catch yourself keep saying, I'll get this later, I'll get that later, I'll be back to this, I'll be back to that, you may have 20 be-backs to do, and you may miss some. So if you see the dirt, you might as well handle it right then and there while you have it. And the seat belt ends, just like we're doing there, they do get dirty. Now, not on all upholstered seats do you have to pre-scrub. But these ones it's a lighter color fabric. They were really dirty. You do not have to pre-scrub all fabric seats, only if they're very dirty, and this was. And then you would dip your brush in a bucket of water. You just can't spray the soap and then scrub. You need that water to act as a lubricant. Without any water, you're not going to be able to move that soap around. Okay, so after all the pre-scrubbing is done, take the extractor soap and we're going to spray a mist on all of the fabric. Okay, on the seat, the backrest, and even the headrest. Now when you start to extract, you always want to actually start up top and then work your way down when it comes to the seats. And then we'll start with the headrest and the backrest, and we'll work our way down. The reason we don't extract the seat, the bottom of the seat first, if you do that and you get it all nice and clean and then you start at the top and work your way down, the drips that will come from the extractor spray wand will end up dripping onto the seat. So you start at the top, you extract the headrest, the backrest, and then you go to the seat. But what you do is, like we just saw earlier, we spray the extractor soap on all of the carpeting and all of the seats to let it set up. And then we usually start with the dirtiest section of the vehicle, which is always going to be typically the driver's seat and the driver's carpet. So that's what you see us doing now. We're using the Mighty extractor for that. And we take a look at the water as it's being sucked up into the extractor. That's what I like about these Mighty plastic spray wands. You can actually see the dirt and the water being sucked up. Now when you see that you're not sucking up any more water, there's probably still some water in the upholstery and in the carpet, but then you got as much as you can possibly get with the extractor. You want to take your time when you're extracting, and again, you want to, after you've done all your pre-scrubbing, you spray your extractor soap on the carpeting, the upholstery, the center console if it needs, and then you take your extractor to everything. And again, you start with the backrests, you work your way down to the seat cushion, and then finally the carpets. Okay, like he's doing the carpet now. Then basically he'll go around the vehicle counterclockwise. He'll do the back area of the driver's side, upholstery and carpet, and then he'll finish up over on the passenger side. But typically we do want to do the carpets right when we're doing the upholstery too. You don't want to do the upholstery and then have to come back to the same area again and do the carpeting. And special attention below the pedals, because they're always the dirtiest. So that's typically the area that needs pre-scrubbed, and special attention with the extractor. Make sure your extractor doesn't run out of water either. And when you do fill your extractor up with clean water, be sure that you also discharge the dirty water. And I never put extractor soap in the extractor. I like using clear water. And then I spray the extractor soap on the carpeting and the upholstery and then extract. Because if you mix soap inside your extractor, you're always going to leave soap in the upholstery and the carpet. And dry soap attracts dirt like a magnet. And with your extractor, maybe on a weekly or bi-weekly basis, this is a mighty extractor. You can purchase a quart of extractor maintenance. It's called Maintainer, and it's always good the end of the week or every 2 weeks. Just put about a half gallon or a gallon of extractor soap in your clean water tank and add a cup or two of the Maintainer and let it run through, and that will basically descale the plumbing, so that'll keep a nice flow of water. Now, as you can see now, we're emptying out the dirty water, and it was really dirty. May have not looked that dirty in this video, but it was extremely dirty. And a lot of times I'll save that dirty water to show the customer really how dirty their upholstery and their carpet was. Okay, so we removed the mats from the car. Okay, you always got to take the mats out before you vacuum the carpet. And as you can see, they're pretty dirty, and the driver's mat has a ton of debris on it. So we're going to vacuum up all the mats now, and later we will come back, we will shampoo them and also extract. But we're gonna vacuum everything up right now. So as you saw, we started to vacuum this mat out, okay, just to show you the principle, because it had a lot of debris on it. But for a quicker way to do it, okay, we're outside, right? We're not outside the bay. Okay, what Chase is gonna do, he's gonna shake the mat out with the heavy debris. Okay, and now we'll finish vacuuming it up. But you can do that. I just wanted to make note of that. That will save you some time. So to clean the mats properly, you actually need to take them out of the vehicle, obviously. Now this happens to be a carpeted mat. So what we're doing, we're wetting it. We're actually not extracting. You're just seeing us wet the carpeting, okay? You need to wet it, and then we're gonna put our extractor soap on it, and then we're gonna pre-scrub, because this one's pretty dirty. You just can't take an extractor to dirty carpeting or dirty carpeted mats, okay? You gotta wet it, you gotta spray soap on it, and then you gotta scrub it, which I call pre-scrubbing and pre-spotting. And then if it has like tar balls and grease, then you would spray a spotter on it. But this is actually extractor soap that we use with the extractor, okay? But we're actually gonna pre-scrub with it, and we're gonna get a foam going. So right now, where you had some stains, you're spraying a little bit more on there. And then we're gonna take our drill brush and we're gonna scrub it, and we're gonna get a suds going. And basically what happens with that, the dirt that's in the carpeting gets suspended in the suds. And then we'll take a towel to wipe the suds away. But right now we're gonna take the drill brush, and that's exactly what you want, because we're loosening up the dirt, and the dirt is exfoliating, and it's going to be suspended in the suds. Now you noticed how the technician is overlapping. He's going outside of the mat a little bit to get that edge. Because if you don't, then you're going to have a dirt ring around the edge of the mat. So if you're going to scrub, and also when you do extract, you want to go the whole way over. So this is actually doing really good, okay, because it is bringing up the dirt. And he's pressing a little bit more with more force on where the stains were. And depending on how dirty the carpeting or the mat is, you have to scrub it a few times. But you do not want to suck up the suds into your extractor, okay? Because that'll cause havoc within your recovery tank of the extractor. So we're gonna lift up as much soap as we can right now. It actually looks pretty good. And then we will take our mighty hot water extractor and extract. Now sometimes stains are permanent. You can't get them out, so you may have to dye them. But in this case, it looks really good. We are basically injecting hot water into the area that the technician just scrubbed. And we're also extracting the dirty water out. Now we'll leave the mats outside of the vehicle to dry out. And we never put the mats back on the carpet if the carpets are still a little moist or damp. We will put them in the trunk or the cargo area, and we'll let the customer know to take the mats out. Because if you leave the mats on the carpeting and the carpeting's still a little damp, you're going to get some mildew. Now even with the extracting, we still didn't get that stain up. So we're going to spray a spot remover on it. Sometimes it's best to do that prior, but we felt that we could probably get it out with the extractor. So what the spot remover will do, okay, it'll break down that stain even more. And then we can extract it up. So it's always good to have all your arsenal. Have your extractor shampoo, have a spot remover, have a scrub brush like the drill brush, and of course the extractor. So we have all the arsenal needed to get these mats really clean. Now one little area that you see there, that little black area, that appears to be maybe a cigarette burn. It does not appear to be a stain. It came out really good. After all the cleaning process is done, now we'll condition the vinyl, the plastic, and if it has leather, we'll also do that. We take a nylon cloth dressing applicator and basically we'll apply a vinyl dressing right to the applicator. We're using our Detail Czar interior vinyl dressing. Spray it on the one side of the dressing applicator. We'll put that first coat on. We'll put it on all the vinyl on that door panel. Get it all nice and shiny. We'll get even behind the door handle too. And then eventually he'll flip that over to kind of smooth it out. And what some people do, they keep a small microfiber towel in their hand if they want to kind of knock it down a little bit. But you want to make sure you get everything, because if you don't, then it'll leave a kind of a dull spot on the vinyl. As you can see, we make sure we get behind the door handle. Okay, then we'll do the dashboard. We'll do the top of the dashboard. We'll make sure that we get into all the nooks and crannies, all the various levels of the dash. We'll come back to the air conditioning vents in a little bit with an aerosol dressing, and we'll hit those. And in any of the hard areas that it's difficult to get that applicator into. But we'll take the dressing, the aerosol dressing to those areas. Eventually we'll get into the cup holders too. Now he's going to get all the lower plastics where the hood release is and the kick panels too. We're dressing those also. Anything that's basically vinyl. Now, you noticed a little bit earlier, we sprayed some aerosol dressing into the AC vents. Okay, now we're taking, it's like a large flat Q-tip to actually now smooth out the dressing and get it on into all of the cracks and crevices in the vents of the air conditioning vent. It's kind of putting like the finishing touches on it. Just showing you another angle, doing the passenger door too. Now, for the steering wheel, we're going to do the steering wheel column. But we're not going to actually dress the steering wheel itself, because you will clean it, but you don't want to dress it because it'll be too slippery for the customer. We're dressing around the console, of course, the shifter, and we'll knock that down so that's not slippery either. Now notice on the dashboard, when we're dressing the dashboard, your applicator may touch the windshield, okay? So just be aware of that when you go to clean the windows. You will have, you may have got some dressing actually on the inside of the windshield. So you got to make sure that you clean the dressing that actually is on the windshield too. You should always include cleaning of the door jambs and the rubber weather strippings anytime that you provide a complete interior cleaning for your customer. So we're using a vapor steamer, okay? We're basically steaming the door jambs, the metal of the doors, also the weather stripping, and we'll also get underneath the doors too. Then we're just going to basically take a microfiber towel and wipe now the loose dirt that was actually caked into the door jamb. And we'll also make sure that we get underneath the door panel too. That's one of the first things customers do when they sit inside their vehicle. After you charge them to clean their interior, they'll take their hand right below the door panel and make sure that you got it clean. What you may want to do too is after you've cleaned the door jambs, maybe spray a spray wax on them to make them pop a little bit more. But these are actually coming out pretty clean. But that's just an added option if you wanted to do that. If you wanted to spray some quick wax in the doors to really make them pop. But these ones are actually coming out super clean. The vapor steamer did a really good job. Now you can also use a low pressure washer too, but then you have the chance of the water getting inside the car. That's why I really like using vapor steam to clean the door jambs underneath the doors, the dog legs that go between the front and the back doors, and of course the weather stripping. Got to get everything clean. Okay, the weather stripping, you should also condition the weather stripping. Not only will it make it look good and make it pop, it's really impressive when the customer opens up the doors, as you can see here. It puts a nice shine on it. But it also keeps it conditioned, soft, and supple. Because if you don't keep your weather stripping conditioned, eventually it's going to become hard and brittle and crack, and that's where you get noise, air noise on the inside, and also some possible leaks. So this is one of the last things that we do on the interiors after we're done cleaning the jambs. You want to condition and dress the weather stripping before you clean the windows. You don't want to clean the windows and then condition the weather stripping. And you go the whole way down and underneath. And again, it really makes it pop. And then if you get any of the weather stripping on the door jamb, you can have a microfiber towel to touch it up. And we're actually using a tire and rubber dressing, okay, rather than using an interior vinyl dressing. Typically, your interior vinyl dressings are water-based. They're great for vinyl, but when it comes to rubber, you really need that solvent. And that's what we're using on we're using our premium tire and rubber dressing from the Detail Czar. You always want to clean your exterior windows before you clean your interior windows, or you're never going to be able to get your interior windows clean. So now in this particular vehicle, there's some leaves and debris in the cowl area right underneath the wipers. Now you can do one of two things. You can take your compressed air with an air blower, an air gun, and blow it out and get it all over your shop floor. Or if you're working outside, you can blow it out. In this case, we're working inside. So we're going to take our vacuum cleaner with our crevice tool, and we're going to vacuum up all that debris now. Get it out of the way, because that's really the only way you're going to effectively be able to clean the windows. You don't want to have the leaves and the debris on your windshield as you're using your window cleaner. So we'll make sure that that's all out before we actually start to clean the windows. We actually like using distilled water when we clean our windows, okay, because it's purified basically. It doesn't have any elements in it, and it just makes cleaning the windows much more easier. So we'll pour some into a small bucket. That's basically just a 3-gallon bucket. Then we'll take a microfiber towel. We'll dip it in the distilled water, get it soaked, and we'll wring it out. Now notice how we have it folded up. We'll take the Detail Czar window cleaner. We'll spray a light mist of window cleaner. You can do it one of two ways. You can actually spray it on the towel, or you can actually spray it on the glass. So the technician is going to spray a mist on the glass, and then he's going to take the folded window towel. So he's going to take that wet towel with the window cleaner to basically what we're doing now is we're wiping the dirt away. If you just spray window cleaner with a dry towel on a real dirty window, whether it's an interior or an exterior window, you're going to get a ton of smears. So that's where I actually like taking a soaking wet towel, microfiber towel, with the distilled water that we wrung out to get that top layer of dirt off. Now we'll take a dry towel, let's fold it up to now dry it, and it's actually going to take the dirt off. Especially if you're working out in the heat, that window cleaner is going to dry on the glass if you don't have it lubricated with water. So that's why it's so important to use a damp microfiber towel first. And if you don't have distilled water, you can use just regular tap water. I know there's an expense, obviously, with distilled water, but you can just see how much cleaner that is, and there aren't any smears. And then we'll continue to the other half of the windshield, of course. Side windows, same thing. Spray the window cleaner on. You can spray it on the glass or the towel. Take it to your very wet microfiber towel. Get that first layer of dirt off. Now the dirt that you do see on the window, on the glass, is actually in the interior, and we'll get to that in a little bit. Now we're cleaning the interior of the window. Now you just have to be careful. If you've already dressed the door panel or even the dashboard, you don't want to spray the window cleaner on the window, okay? Because what can happen, the window cleaner can actually get on and spot your dressing. So make sure that you would spray your window cleaner on your towel versus actually spraying it on the glass if you've already dressed the interior. Now, even with the windshield being cleaned, there was still some dirt down at the bottom that just would not come off just with the regular cleaner and the wet and dry microfiber towels. So we're taking some quad zero, that's 0000 steel wool, to that dirt, along with a little window cleaner to break that up. Now, some of the rear windows and also the front windshields where the glass meets either the dashboard or that rear shelf, it's hard to get to. So this is has a little telescoping handle on it. It has a microfiber mitt on the bottom of it. We spray a little bit of our glass cleaner. We wet it and then spray our glass cleaner. That allows us to easily clean that rear windshield, because it's very difficult to do, especially if you can't move the back seats, if you can't recline them forward. This is one way that you can do it. It saves time. And then basically take a microfiber towel over that smaller microfiber bonnet to clean the rest of the window and dry it. And then of course we'll check for smudges. We'll actually look from the outside in to see if any smudges that we missed. Always make sure you clean the visor mirrors too. The visor mirrors and the rear view mirror and the instrument panel should all be done at pretty much at the same time. If you have a system where you're doing both visor mirrors, the rear view mirror, and the instrument panel gauges, okay, you'll never miss anything. Because typically your instrument panel gauges are going to get water spots on them. So you want to make sure that they're clean too. Now this particular vehicle has some inspection stickers down on the lower left. Make sure that we're getting underneath there and cleaning those. There was actually some glue from some of the inspection stickers that were removed at one time. And the best way to do that is just get a little goof off, put it on a towel, and then remove any excess glue. When I first started detailing cars about 39 years ago, my grandmother actually told me, you better do your customers' window tips. So after the inside and the outside windows are all cleaned, we roll them down and we'll actually clean the window tips. And they may be dirty on the inside and the outside. Then when you roll them back up, okay, there still may be a little water that got onto the bottoms of the windows, so you make sure you got to clean them too. But we're just taking a little window cleaner with a microfiber towel, and we're making sure we're cleaning our window tips. You got to do that. You don't want the customer getting in the vehicle, cracking their windows, and seeing dirt on their window tips. You got to make sure you clean those window tips. Extremely important that you do that. It's kind of like your final touches on the vehicle. And then while you're doing that too, you can also check for smears and smudges that possibly may have missed the first time around. Okay, when you're all done, Okay, you want to put a couple paper mats down. You can put one on each side, especially because customer just paid you to clean their interior. It's not a real good idea for them to be able to put their dirty shoes right on the carpet. So I do like putting those down. And if the seat cover is still a little moist, I'll also put a plastic seat cover on the fabric. I will not put a plastic seat cover on the leather. There's no reason that you have to do that. And if the car has to sit outside in the sun, in the summertime and it's real hot, that plastic seat cover could stick to the leather. Now, if the vehicle's coming in for something else, I would, let's say it's just coming in for an exterior, I would put a mat down and a seat cover just in case your technician has dirt on his shoes or on his pants, just as a precautionary measure, and plus it shows your professionalism. We took items out of the vehicle when we first started to clean. And we do ask the customer to remove all personal items, but we always seem to find some. So we bag them up, we'll put them on the passenger seat so they can find them, they can easily see them, and we'll put 3 or 4 of our business cards in the console, in the cup holder area, so they can give to their friends and neighbors, because they're going to ask them, wow, who detailed your car? Yeah, the after product looks really, really good. And when I do give a quote to the customer over the phone, if I haven't seen the vehicle, I'm going to, based on what they tell me, the color of the vehicle, if they have any pets, kids items, things like that, I'm only going to give them a price range over the phone. Then once the vehicle gets there, then I can firm up the price, or I get to the vehicle if I'm a mobile detailer. But as you can see, this really came out great. Everything the customer actually gave us a 5-star review, knocked their socks off, extremely happy with it. You want to use professional grade products when you're offering a professional auto detailing service. You don't want to buy products at the auto parts store and have your customer come to your shop, or you being a mobile operator go to their house with products that they could have bought at Walmart or Kmart, because they could have done that. Use professional grade products. It'll save you time, and the final product will knock your customer's socks off. The details are, I have my own product line of premium detailing products, cleaners, dressings, degreasers, have everything to really separate yourself from the competition. Again, I can't emphasize enough to use professional grade cleaning, dressing, and conditioning products. Whether you're using my products or someone else's, don't use products that you can buy in the auto parts store, because anybody can do that. You want results, quick results, and you want to knock your customer's socks off, and that's what this is all about. And you can make a real lot of money providing professional detailing services to your customers.